Hello, everyone. Today we're going to be talking about fraud prevention awareness. My name is Payton Chapman. I'm the fraud specialist in the customer care team at Premier Community Bank. I have been the fraud specialist for just about going on 3 years now. So, what we had decided is that Premier Community Bank has really been in a need of having a fraud specialist. So, that's how I came into this role. It's something that I'm very passionate about with helping our customers and making sure that even someone that isn't a customer with us knows what's going on out there regarding fraud and the current scams, and just make sure that I help keep your money safe and you safe going forward. So, our agenda today is fraud statistics and definitions, the current trends. This can be what we're seeing at the bank or what is going on in the world. And then you're a victim. So, what can Premier Community Bank do for you? Statistics and definitions. This is our 2025 scam snapshot. So this is what is going on in the world right now. It goes over the top 5 frauds that we're seeing. It's also showing that over 3 million fraud reports had been filed last year, and our older adults have lost $4.3 billion to fraud. So that's why it's really important that I help get this information out to everyone so that we can kind of see ways of how we can stop this or just know the trends or see what's going on out there to be able to prevent yourself from getting scammed. Imposter scams are our first one. So don't let imposter scams scare you. So, what an imposter scam is, it could be someone that's posing as an IRS agent, definitely someone that's going to be calling you pretending to be a grandchild, that they're in need of bail money for a car accident that they've been in. They could also say that they're locked in a basement and they need help. It could be a faked utility coworker or even someone that claims to be a police officer. So some ways that you can protect yourself. If that call makes you feel scared or worried, just hang up right away. Best thing would call a family member or someone that you trust to see if maybe they've heard of a scam like this and how you can stop receiving those calls. Scammers, they want you to pay in a way that's hard for police to trace. So, what that's going to mean is they may be asking you to go get gift cards or to stop at the Bitcoin machine at the gas station. So, the hard part with the Bitcoin machines, once you put money right into those machines, that money's gone right away. So, a way to reduce this of being scammed is just don't answer the calls if you don't know that number. Because, as we all know, if someone's calling us and it's truly important, they'll leave a message. Next up is our online shopping scams. So, let's go over how to avoid a scam for online shopping. Stick to the mantra, if it's too good to be true, it probably is. Visit reputable sites and avoid clicking on ads and other weird looking links. Verify the contact information. So one day you could do this as making sure that the website that you're on is that's a real website. Up in the top left corner, it should have a little security lock on it, and that should mean that it's a secure website. Check first. Maybe just call the number on that website. Call a number that you trust. Obviously, don't call the one directly on the website because it could be a false number. Guard your personal information with your life. So don't just be providing your debit card number or even a phone number or anything like that, because once that information's out there, they're going to keep getting more pieces of your information to be able to scam you. Use an antivirus software. Use a VPN and avoid public Wi-Fi. So avoiding public Wi-Fi is very important. We don't want to be going on to a Wi-Fi, say especially at an airport, and then logging into our online banking, because at the point that we're using public Wi-Fi, a fraudster could as well be using that and then logging into your Wi-Fi network and seeing what you're doing on your phone. When in doubt, don't click on anything. Business and job opportunity scams. So we do see these kind of often. So these are maybe companies that are reaching out to you and saying, hey, we have a job that's $30 an hour. You sit at home, you don't have to do anything. And by the end of the week, you're going to make over $2,000. And that sounds really great right now, especially at the economy that we're in. But we just want to stop and think a little bit, make sure that this is legitimate. So the things that we're pointing out for these is if there's no job interview or it's only done through texting. The pay is very high for little work being done. Notice that job scams have tripled between 2020 and 2024. And that would have a lot to do with the COVID that we had going on. People were starting to work from home more, so they felt that they could get people to apply for those jobs from home, and then it seemed more legitimate. And 1 in 4 people who encounter a job scam become a victim. Investment fraud. So, investment fraud is when cryptocurrency is the main source. It's mainly due to how hard that it is to reverse, meaning that if they have you buy into Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, that it's really hard to get that money back. So, we want to make sure that if we are going to be putting money into stocks or anything that we want to get money on, we have to make sure it is legitimate. So a fraudster will build your trust over time before introducing you to the investment opportunity. Meaning it could be someone that you think, hey, I feel like I know this person, and now they told me to invest into some kind of crypto, and they want you to put $20,000 in. And they'll give you an app to log into. And this would actually be an app that a fraudster has created. This maybe friend of yours. And once you're logging into this app, every time you go in, you have a higher and higher dollar amount in there. But say you're like, oh my gosh, now I have $50,000. Can I pull this out? They'd be like, no, either you have to invest just a little bit more or you have to wait a little while. So they make it really hard to get this money back. And then if it guarantees profit or eliminates any risk, it's definitely a scam because any type of investment is definitely a risk. Internet service scams. So some ways to prevent these would be to set up a multi-factor authentication. So to either have like your Face ID or being texted codes. Never respond to any scam messages that you receive. So even if you get a text message or an email, don't respond back because once they know that you've responded once, they're going to keep trying with different tactics to get in there. Install an antivirus software on your computer. Keep social media accounts private. So keep it to only your closest loved ones or your closest friends because we do like to share information on social media, but we want to make sure that it's some information that a fraudster couldn't get a hold of and get into your passwords or anything like that. Report any possible scams that you may know, and be cautious when transferring money. That especially goes for Cash App, Venmo, any of those kind of options to transfer money. We just want to know who you're sending to. Make sure it's not someone that you just recently met or someone that's asking you, hey, this is the only way I can receive payment, because those also are really hard ways to get money back. So, some of the current trends that we're seeing at the bank, one would be check washing. So, what happens is some of the people are breaking into mailboxes lately and they're grabbing your check, taking it, putting it into like an acetone, and then washing off all of your writing on there and then rewriting over it. So the issue with this obviously is now your check is stolen with your routing and account information and then now being written out to someone else. One thing that you can do is use a gel pen. So a pen that's really going to leak into that check, so it's really hard for them to wash off. Next thing for this check washing, best thing to do if you're going to be mailing a check or sending a check to someone, go into the post office directly or put it in that blue box, but the latest time of the day, right before pickup, since we have heard of instances where people are breaking into those blue boxes. Pop-up alerts, these are one of our main ones that we're seeing right now. So meaning these are little boxes, as you see, that are going to pop up onto your computer. Sometimes they may have alarms, they may have sirens, and these will go off and off until it stops. So you feel that you have to call the number that's on the screen. But unfortunately, that number is going to lead you to a fraudulent area. They're going to say that you have illicit photos on your computer or something that's going to scare you that you need to act immediately. So we're not thinking right away, and now we're letting a fraudster into our computer. So if you do have a pop-up at all, shut off that computer and then take it to your local computer expert, someone that can scrub or wash off that virus from that computer to make sure that they're not getting in and getting your information. AI. So our AI scams, artificial intelligence, that is really skyrocketing right now. So AI scams often are going to start through a social media. text messages, email, or even messaging apps, so WhatsApp or Telegram. Anytime you receive someone that's asking you to switch this over to WhatsApp or Telegram, please be advised that it could very well be a scam. So just make sure you know who you're talking to. AI helps to personalize the attack because it knows you too well. So what that means is that AI is really starting to get all information on everyone around us. And it's the more that it knows about you, the easier it is to make a fraudster feel like they know you as well, to trust them. So if you didn't initiate the contact first, hang up and call a number that you trust. Romance scams are tailored by creating a fake profile and building long-term trust easier. So our romance scams, maybe an online dating site, it could be a fake person using AI. So now that there's a fake profile out there and they're building a long-term trust with you, you feel like you can do more or provide more information to them. But unfortunately, that may not be a real person. So, what AI is doing, these scammers can now create realistic emails and messages with perfect grammar, fake websites and job investment listings. So, kind of how we said, like job scams and all that, these are all being provided via AI. And then human like conversations, so our chatbots or scripts. So, obviously, all of these are sounding so good, maybe too good to be true. So, our dating and romance scams. What these are, a scammer will create a profile online where it's for a dating site or social media. They approach you, gain your trust, and profess their love. They say they're overseas and there's a problem stopping you from seeing them, either in person or by video chat. Now they're going to tell you a convincing sob story and about why they need to borrow money and pressure you to invest more money. But no matter how much money that you provide them, they're always going to want more. And at the end, the victims are truly the ones that are suffering because they just keep providing all their money, but they don't receive anything in return. Remote deposit fraud. So what happens with this is we receive mobile deposits, and us at the bank, we're reviewing every single one of those checks. We want to make sure the backside of that check is being signed by you, that you have for mobile deposit only, and then that check box is checked. So why this is important, because we do have sometimes where a customer unwillingly or doesn't know that they provided their username and password for their online banking, and a fraudster will get in there and put a check into that account. So then now when the fraudster puts that in, that's why we need to verify the signature, because most times they're going to either type it on there or it's not even going to be the name for the person who's on the check. So we do see some of these where once a fraudster is in your online banking, they're going to try to put checks in there. Once that bad check goes in, it's unfortunately going to come back as altered or fictitious, and then those funds have to go back because they weren't legitimate to start with. Debit card fraud. What does Premier Community Bank do for you? So with our debit card fraud, we have a third-party service provider that tracks and monitors unusual activity. Upon a suspicious charge, the service will freeze the card, then call or text you to confirm the charge. Upon confirmation of the fraudulent charge, a dispute is filed, the card is then closed, and a new card is ordered at no charge to you. Upon our further investigation, most disputes filed within 90 days of the charge result in a full replacement of your lost funds. But not all fraudulent charges are caught by the service. So it's really important that you are checking your online banking, if you can, daily, because if you notice a fraudulent charge, immediately call the bank during our business hours or contact the 24-hour hotline. If you, like I said, if you have anything that you notice that is not yours within your account, please call the bank immediately, because if you wait too long, even after 60, 90 days, there could be a chance that we cannot provide those funds back to you due to how long it was. So you are a victim. What can we do for you? So say you have an online banking fraud. Premier will work with you on completing a fraud report. We'll restrict that online banking account and potentially open a new checking or savings, really depending on the information that had been provided to the fraudster. So we just want to make sure if your routing and account number was given out, then yes, we probably should close down those accounts. If you have a stolen checkbook, call us and report it immediately. Bank staff will complete a fraud report, close the account, and assist in opening a new account. If you wait to report it, the account and all other accounts of the bank could be at risk of being compromised due to all the information that is already on a checkbook. Any other type of fraud, just call us immediately. We can assist with figuring out what may have happened and if we need to open any new accounts or not. If you're a victim of fraud but not a Premier customer, immediately contact your bank to freeze your accounts and report to the police if needed. Control your debit card within the mobile app. We do have the option with Premier Community Bank to close off your debit card from your app. Some other banks are also offering that option. Have a 24-hour hotline number provided by your financial that's readily available to you so that you can just call them right away and say, hey, I think I have fraud on my account. And never be afraid to ask people that you trust if they have heard of a scam or if they're aware of things that are going on as well. So, in summary, Premier Community Bank is working hard to keep your finances safe. Reminder, anything that seems too good to be true probably is. And then a quote that I really like, any informed borrower is simply less vulnerable to fraud and abuse. So I'm hoping that you were able to get a little bit out of this today. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out to me. I am Payton Chapman with Premier Community Bank. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you have a great day.